You want a high energy one? We just checked out the Twilight Imperium 4th Edition Prophecy of Kings expansion, and oh my dear God, it just blew my mind. What'd you think?
I also enjoyed it.
Let's talk about it! There you go. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner? Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again today for another Thoughts from the Corner. I'm here with my good friend Adam.
Yep.
And today, we are both super excited because we just got done playing Twilight Imperium 4th Edition Prophecy of Kings expansion. It came out about 5-6 months ago, and it is the first expansion to Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. Now, before we get into TI, we're both humongous Twilight Imperium fans. We played
3rd edition, a bunch.
numerous times.
And now 4th edition, a bunch.
Yeah, we played more than once in a day, and so needless to say, we were very excited about this. And then I thought the best way to do it, and you see I'm on my phone, it's not because I'm on POF or anything like that, it's because I'm looking at all the different components so we can go list by list and talk about them, and I feel like that's the best way to do it. So first, you have 7 new factions. Now, we all 3 played new factions, and let me tell you, oh my gosh, these are insane. Like, because it's not just new factions that you get, but you also are going to get this leader sheet. I'll kind of bundle this up. But essentially, if you thought the factions were already asymmetrical, they're now even more asymmetrical. Now, the leaders were something that was in another expansion for Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition, but I really like how they're handled here. It's a nice, clean board you get. But let's get to those factions, because I know you have some strong opinions about my faction.
Yeah.
So I have this faction that's super freaking cool, where pretty much every time I beat somebody in combat, I ate their person. And I took it, and I put it on my board. And then what I could do is I could turn around, and I could build those units for free, and I decided, you know what?
But that's not the best way to do things.
Well, that's not the way that I decided to do it, because right from the beginning I said, no. And my brain was like, I'm going to turtle. I'm going to 100% turtle. I'm going to take this cluster of stars, and then I'm going to pick at mostly you and take all of your units. And I'm not exaggerating where towards the end of the game, I had more of your units than you
I
did.
had 4 big units left. That was it. Other than that, I had all infantry and fighters, which were expensive because of a law that came around. Yeah, and because my faction was all about getting the destroyers and just like, sending them out.
Yeah.
They had 1 capacity, so you just like send a bunch of them out there and see what you can kill. Or drop a man on a planet. If it doesn't work out, just build more, just because they're super cheap. Well, yeah, when he's stealing all of them because they're super cheap, it was just like brick wall, and then I have to build these bigger ones, and my bigger ones aren't as good as my smaller ones. So, now that one's dead. Oh, he's gone. Nickel dime. Oh, where's all my guys?
Yeah, it also didn't, like, that race also has a really cool special ability where it can go faster. They have, your space docks essentially are going to give you +1 speed. And what I was able to do a couple times was you could put your space docks close enough so you could trigger 2 of them, so you could really be flying around the galaxy. And there was also a special ability where space docks could essentially not eat someone else's ship from adjacent, but eat a ship from their inventory. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just take that. Free action. Take it. Free action.
I was like, wait, you already have 3/4 of my things. Why are you taking out of the supply? What in the world?
Because that's my race. But needless to say, I'm going to give these races, I'm just going to give them an A. Yeah. Like, granted, we need to play them more. Like, you might think that mine is slightly imbalanced, but I did cheat, and I think you'd have to team up on it. But granted, I was looking through the other different races. They look just insanely fun.
Unintentionally cheated once.
It was a big one, though.
It was.
But it looks like they're just going to add an insane amount of variability, because if we would have been playing 3 different races, we would have had a drastically different game, which is really what you want to know here. And before we get too much more into it, I think we can both very easily agree that if you are not a Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, like, big fan, I would not recommend this. Because
no. There's too many things to remember. I mean, like, normally when you're playing TI, you're like, I forgot I didn't use that. Too bad. This is like, I forgot these 3 or 4 things all at once. Like, I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have done this.
Yeah, because you have action text now, you have action cards now, you have leaders over here.
You have relics, you have,
the planet stuff. Yeah, we'll get some more of that.
Planet exploration was really awesome too.
We'll get there. So next, everybody, we got 2. So the other big thing, it goes up to 7-8 players, which is spectacular. I mean, that was honestly, that was why I was holding out hope that I was like, yeah, I'm still a Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition guy, and I was like, no.
Have you done that more than once? The 8 players?
I played 7 and 8 once.
Yeah, just that one time.
So the command sheet's making 2 revived strategy cards, which they just tweak with some stuff. I don't think that's a really big one that most people are going to care about it. But then let's get to the mech units. I thought the mechs were interesting. They're there. They add a little bit more intrigue to ground. Don't say because honestly, like those 2 mechs that I had on one planet made a huge difference. Like there was a dreadnought just flying above this planet, but it couldn't kill my 2 mechs. And my 2 mechs were just.
Well, I didn't want to spend the tokens to activate bombardment.
Yeah, but you probably would have killed them if they were just infantry in the first place. Like you were in that position because those mechs were because they can sustain 1 damage. Because that's the other big thing about these.
I mean, I didn't send any troops at that point.
Well, yeah.
So I wasn't intending to take the planet anyway.
Well, what do you think about the mechs, though?
I thought that they were great. I mean, like, it gives you an additional thing when it's ground combat, and you can build them up in an area. They all have, like, a special thing. Like, mine was I could move them around for basically no capacity cost, which was really cool. But, I mean, for me, they were kind of expensive based on what I was doing.
And once again, one thing you need to mention there, yes, they are an additional special ability, and everybody gets them. So the old races, the new races, which just adds to the fact that this is for advanced Twilight Imperium players. So next, we had the hyperdrive tiles. Now, we didn't get a chance to play this because I believe it's only in 5 and 7 player games, but it looked really cool and essentially made that it was a balancing thing. Because originally in a 5 and 7 player game, there was going to be somebody who was going to get hosed by positioning, and this apparently fixes the issue. It looked really cool. I'd love to try it out sometime.
Yeah, it's like you come in one side and it tells you which side that particular thing can go out. So you can't go to everything around that one tile. That's basically how it works.
It looks like a really neat, simple solution to the problem. So new planets. And the big thing I want to mention about these planets is there's also special planets. So let's just lump that in there. And these special planets will have an attribute attached to them. Oh, that's the exploration, isn't it? Yeah. No, so there's special planets. There's so much in this. So there's special planets.
Legendary ones.
Yeah, we're talking about the legendary planets. Okay, so legendary planets, they're cool. Those are really cool because they give you a card.
Yeah.
And this card is like a persistent action that you can do, but it's not like an action itself. It's like something you do at the end of your turn. It's just more
easy to forget to use.
It was easy to forget to use, but still, I love having it in there. Like because, like
I wish it was just sometime during your turn, because a lot of times at the beginning of my turn, I would think I'm gonna use that so I can get my 2 guys. And then and then it would start somebody else's turn, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I didn't do the 2 guys thing. Well, I get it next time."
I did that as well. All right, so we got the relic cards, we got new action cards. That's awesome, obviously. Agenda cards. It's a new agenda cards. Simple stuff there. 40 objective cards, 128 tech cards, and I liked the new tech in the game. In particular, like how did your racial tech feel? Because mine felt amazing. I don't know if yours felt as amazing.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, you took all of the guys. So my racial tech was that my destroyers could be really good, but when I have a depreciating amount of destroyers, that went away real quick. So it didn't, and it did help because I went Mechatol Rex in the first round.
I remember that. Yeah,
I took it in the first round, and then the next 4 rounds I held it. So I mean, it worked because I really enjoyed that part of it. What I didn't do, I didn't build the other tech, which I realized at the end I should have definitely done that right away, because it gives all of my planets 1 production.
That's huge.
So anytime I was activating a planet, I could just build 1 troop.
Oh yeah,
which would have been enormous.
That's huge.
Yeah, but that's tech. It felt really nice. I liked it.
All right, so 24 mech unit cards. We don't need to know about that. 74 leader cards. Yeah, the leader system. It is. We'll talk about it a little bit, but it is from one of the old expansions. I love it.
Yeah, I liked it.
So it's essentially, it's really interesting because you start with 1, and you can use this, and then you can unlock 2 other people. And one of them is like a really good special ability, and then one of them is like a one-time only, like could potentially shift the game. Now, ours didn't really shift. Well, Alan used his to run away from me, and mine didn't work out. No, mine did. Mine really did help. Yeah, they're awesome. They pretty much.
Yeah, and mine, it was like I used it at a time when you cheated, so I didn't get to really see how it worked. But like mine would be at the end of a round, basically. Like I would want to turtle that entire turn, and then at the end of the round, I would just move all of my troops. I could move everything to anywhere I wanted, and it was really, that would have been really awesome if I would have used it properly.
I want to mention that I do like, so I feel like the only thing that I like still better in 3rd edition than 4th edition is the tech trees. I feel like, I don't know what it is about these tech trees, I just don't like them as much.
Well, it's that you have to read all the cards, and it's so easy to build the tech up if you know where you're going, but you have a giant handful of cards, and you got to read through all those to know what you want to do.
And you have, like, literally your area is just, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Like, especially mid-game where there's planets everywhere, and there's a board here, a board here, a board here, cards over here. Like, it's a lot, but you already knew that. So we got some Destroyed Planet Token, Mirage Planet Token, 13, I don't know what those are about, 13 token attachments, which are nice because they just help you remember which planets are better. Because exploration, let's talk about exploration.
Yeah, exploration was awesome. Every time you go to a new planet, you explore, and you just get a card that does a cool thing. It'll, like, say, you can add a troop to it. Really fun. But it can also add influence to that particular one. Or add a tech, like, specialty. Or, like, it did so many cool things. And they were all good. I don't think we ever had a bad one.
No, I don't think so.
I think they're all positive, and it's always fun to see what's going to happen.
There was also another form of exploration, not that, where there were space anomalies that are out there. You go to these, you explore them. We only did one, which were pretty lame. We didn't do much trading, so we can't comment too much on that. And we didn't do much of that. I wanted to, but it was a special tech, and I was like, I don't feel like it's that great. You used it.
There weren't too many. I just had an action card that let me do one. That's how I got that one.
I think if one of us would have focused on it, it could have been big, though. Because nobody else was doing any of it.
There weren't a ton of them, and you would have to go into other people's territories to use them, so... I mean, in a huge game where there's a bunch of those things around, but in ours it just wasn't.
I also think our racial ones that we had weren't fine-tuned for that. Just to, like, send out people.
Yeah. I think we were all kind of, we got to move around a lot, and this is more of I'm going to slowly build up my area and do all the things.
But that's the expansion. Gigantic box. In the end, what do you think about it?
Huge fan. I mean, I would play it without it, but if the option is there to play with the expansion, I would. Every time.
I would. And honestly, I think it's shirt ripping good. That's how much I love this game. I can't slap a Bowers Bestial on it just because I've only played it once. But honestly, I would like to do another video after we play it again because I just want to look at all the races. I just want to, like, as bad as it sounds when we got done, I was just like, man, I'd love to play again. Just like immediately, let's just set it back up and let's play it till like 4 in the morning.
From the base game, how many races were there? That's a huge amount, right?
Oh yeah, I got rid of this little crap games now.
There were a ton in the base game, and then they just add more, and it's just like, wow, it's just more of the good. More good.
If you are a big Twilight Imperium fan, pull the trigger. Don't even hesitate. Yep. Even if you're not going to hit 7 or 8 players, everything else they add is spectacular. It adds a lot of bookkeeping and a lot of potential. Oh, shoot, I forgot about that. But that's what you want with this game. Like, nobody's looking to say, like, man, I wish it was like 4 hours shorter. It's like, no, then I'd be playing a different game.
Yeah.
Like, I want that epic scale. I want that, because it happens so many times. Like, those cards where it's like, how'd you do that? You can't, and they're like, oh, I mean, you're special.
We played a game of TI in like 3 hours before. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we could get this with the expansion down to that 3 hour period?
I think yes, but I think the things that happened in the game slowed it down. My particular race, because I was turtling. I was turtling for a good chunk of it, and just, as you put it, nickel and diming. So yeah, I think we could. Maybe not with setup, but yeah.
Oh, right.
But there you go.
I forgot about that. Yeah, typically Alan does it all ahead of time.
Twilight King, Prophecy of Expansions. It's Twilight Imperium. Come on, like, what would you expect? Just be like, this is crap? I mean, Fantasy Flight's not going to do this. But if you enjoy what we're doing, please try to click on that subscribe button down below. Also, in the comments below, let me know. All right, here we go. Make a race. Just one race. You don't have to go all crazy with it, but what would you like a race that could do? Something weird, something unique, something crazy out there. You don't got to fully flesh it in.
Right. One that liked particular planets. They got some kind of bonus on, like, red planets or something. That would be really cool.
Oh, maybe the more red you had, like, you could even build up, like, a better perk or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I would like one that, I just like the turtle. I just want, like, I just want another turtle. Yeah. Give me more turtles. You know what? I want a turtle that no, they have that. They have the wormhole one. I love the wormhole guy. You know what?
Yeah, that one's really fun.
I don't know. Just more. Just give me more. It's all good. As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.